Residents in the Swiss Alps appear to have been spared further catastrophe as water trapped behind glacial debris, which was threatening to flood a valley below, appears to be trickling away slowly. Earlier this week, millions of cubic meters of ice, mud, and rock flattened the village of Blatten. It had already been evacuated, but one person remains missing. Officials warned that fresh evacuations may be necessary as the mass was blocking a river, and authorities feared it could trigger a flood or mudslides. For more, let's now speak to Christoph Hegg. He's an environmental expert at the Swiss Federal Institute for Forest, Snow and Landscape Research. He joins us from Olten in Switzerland. Chris, flooding has been averted, but the debris has still caused a lot of damage. Is the worst now over, or might there be further consequences?
Good morning to everybody. I hope that the worst is over. It's the fact that for the time being, the water is flowing relatively quietly on the top of the debris, and there is hope that the dam will withstand and will not break, because this will be the reason that we could have a severe flooding if the dam would break.
These incidents have been happening occasionally in recent years. Can we attribute this to climate change?
It's difficult to attribute an individual event to climate change. For this, we would have to look in very much detail into the traces of this event, when the landslide took place and when the glacier was eroded away. That's difficult to attribute, but of course climate change does have a severe influence on the Swiss mountains, but this is very difficult to be assessed on single events.
We've been hearing about the potential loss of the world's glaciers now for decades. What's the thinking now? Is that risk even more critical today?
The risk of losing the glaciers is the same now and as it was before this event. The losing of this glacier here is a very special case. Most of the losing of the glacier just takes place just because of the warming and of the rise of the temperatures in the mountains. So the ice can't withstand this heat. This is not necessarily linked to the event as we have it seen. This cascade of different events, the landslide, then the debris on the glacier, then the glacier that breaks, and then this dam build. That's a very special cascade of events. And this is very site-specific and not a general situation we have to expect in the Alps.
I see. What can be done to mitigate the consequences of climate change in mountainous communities in order to preserve them, of course?
The most important thing is to know what's ahead. So the most important thing is to create hazard maps that show what can happen, what can happen in the future, what are the dangers by flooding, by landslides, by snow avalanches, by rockfall. And this is something that is done for all Swiss communities in the Alps, but also outside of the Alps, so that we know what we have to expect.
Okay.
And then the local community can arrange and eventually evacuate communities if an event is coming to happen.
Understood. That is Christoph Hegg with the Swiss Federal Institute for Forest, Snow and Landscape Research. Many thanks, sir.